we are live on YouTube. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Hour. Today is Friday, the 17th of January, and the biggest thing for the crypto world and the investing world in particular is a non-crypto event this week, which is the Donald Trump inauguration as president of the United States. So it's like POTUS, isn't it? Why is it important? Is important for crypto? Because if you have been in the crypto world over the last 4 or 5 years, one of the things that would have been obvious is that how much authorities from all over the world were trying to stop this from happening. We're trying to make it difficult for both individuals to use crypto services and to businesses to be offering crypto services to individual and other businesses. So what's maybe going to change, at least from what has been said until now, is that this is the first time that we're going to have an administration that is the Trump administration that is crypto friendly. So at least according to all the things that they have talked about, whether they come into being or not, that then will develop over the next few weeks and months and years, I suppose. But there is a lot of excitement in the crypto industry that not necessarily that everything is for crypto, but at least that we're not going to have to go into a headwind to simply develop the sector. So just simply the authority being neutral would be a huge news for crypto. Having a favorable administration behind it could actually speed up crypto adoption quite a bit. So let's go and have a look. Let me share my screen and let's go and have a look at a few things. Okay, so today is going to be possibly I'm planning not to be speaking for the whole hour, so please do. We're trying almost like to guess and go into like a journey into the future. So what are the things that could be happening, and let's dream a little bit together. Think, okay, what kind of initiatives could develop, and how could it show on the charts maybe. So let me start sharing my screen. All right. Let me go. Where are we? Okay. So first of all, okay, we are back above the $100,000 mark. So as you can see, this is what I was talking to you last week. Okay, there is a very well-defined demand zone here between roughly 92,000 and 89,000. Okay, that has been respected several times. So as I told you, where were we last week? Okay, so we were here on Friday. I said every time we get below 92,000 is a good place to buy. And at the same time, happened on Monday, went down all the way to 89, and we're now at 102. So if we have bought at that level on Monday, then well done. If you haven't, well, too bad, guys. You missed out on about 10% plus of price rise. But anyway, so we are back now. If we go beyond this level here, where there's still maybe a little bit of resistance still, then we are going to have another go at the all-time high. Okay, so it's very probable that at least over the weekend and maybe on the day of the inauguration, that at least we're going to take a stab at creating a new high. Where is this going to take us? Probably, I mean, this is it just without being too dramatic. Okay, just looking at, sorry, where is my tool? Oh, there we are. So this is the last impulse. This is the last impulse that we had. Okay, and this is just that this is the move that created a new high. Okay, so we went from 66 to 108. Okay, let's clone it. Let's clone it and see. Okay, where could that take us now? And this is how I read it. So it's funny how things move in a measured move. Okay, so we are looking potentially at kind of pausing again, having another stab, another impulse move up and pausing around the 130K mark. I'm not going to put too many numbers. I'm not going to make it too complicated for you. Looking at Fibonacci and other things which you could do, but simply just by looking, it's uncanny how these things, history repeats itself. It's not quite as much here. This is where are we? Okay, this is the move of when the ETFs were launched. It didn't quite go up as much as that, but it's a similar kind of move that we had over there. Okay, so these are kind of the three big moves that we had during this cycle.
Oh my gosh, I'm tired.
All right, guys, Tim, I'm going to mute you. Sorry, I know that it wasn't a meant contribution. So this is just what I see. What we've seen so far over the past few days, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, there's been kind of 10%, over 10% growth. Obviously, there is this is in anticipation of the inauguration that's happening on Monday. Now, how the price action is going to develop from here, to be honest with you, I don't have a crystal ball and I can't tell you. Often you get the news where it says that, buy the rumor, sell the news, kind of like it might grow and then it might be another sell-off on the day of the inauguration or straight afterwards. So to be honest with you, I don't know. I just know that this is where we're going to encounter some resistances around this point, the same that we did here, and then we went sideways for a period, the same we did here, and then we went sideways for another period. And now, though, there are two things. One of it is the Trump inauguration. The other thing is history. So when did this big move happen? In 2021. So there was a move between December and January. And then in 2021 is when we actually started picking up steam. Okay, so this was in December is when we went beyond the previous all-time high from 2017. And we had the first impulse from about 20,000 to 40,000. And then towards the end of January, we had this big move here. Okay, from the high 20s to the mid 60s. So obviously people are looking at things like this as well. Okay, you can see how similar these are similar moves. I would say, don't get hung up on just like a little bit different, but the size of it is comparable. And if you look at it, obviously this is a absolute size. If you look at it in percentage of growth, these are bigger, much bigger moves because they're starting from a smaller base. But this is what the one thing we can say. So facts are there has been volatility over the past couple of weeks, and there is kind of like this shows you that there is expectation. Now, if we look at aggregates, this is Bitcoin, okay? Now, we look at aggregates. This is the total crypto market cap. And again, it's very similar to the Bitcoin chart, because obviously Bitcoin is over 60% of that, of the total crypto market cap, so it will look very similar. But if we have a look at the other aggregates, so especially the total 3, which is the same chart but without Bitcoin and Ethereum, and even more this one, which is what is called as others in the charts. This is the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 coins. Okay, now, and this is interesting. There are two things. Like, can you see here on the right? I'm just trying to move this zoom control. Zoom was in the way. Can you see on the right? Total 2, total 3 others. Okay, can you see how now the altcoins have started moving faster than Bitcoin, faster, if you total 3, is that the other coins without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So now the altcoins are actually, people are starting to put money back on the altcoin. And another way that you can see, where is my BTCD? Sorry, let me add something to it. Okay. If we look at this chart as well, this is the Bitcoin dominant chart. So it tells you what percentage of the total crypto market cap is represented by Bitcoin. And you can see this, guys, I showed you this chart in, before October. Okay, so this, from the point of view of technical analysis, this is a very strong supply zone. Okay, so we knew that so this is pretty much like the opposite of what happened in the Bitcoin chart in 2021. So as Bitcoin was going up in value, the total value of Bitcoin as the total crypto market cap went down from 73% to 39%. And then in November, when we had the all-time high, actually went down until February, it touched down at 38%. But generally from 70% to 40%, this was the altcoin season. Okay, so as then during the bear market and as Bitcoin prices started picking up, and more strongly since January, when the Bitcoin ETFs launched here, Bitcoin then went up from 50% again to 60, 61.5. Now, as you can see, since then, now there was a mini run in all coins there in November, and then Bitcoin picked up again, touched this supply zone again. So this is not, I haven't drawn this zone to make it touch this. This is how you draw the zone, and this is the fact that it's being respected means that the drawing is properly done, and there is some supply down there. Now, where I predict that the altcoin really will be in full swing is when we have confirmation. Okay, confirmation we will have down here as the Bitcoin dominance will move below 54%. Okay, but already tells you that there is now downward pressure. So what does it mean? Kind of as investors, when we were down here, it tells you, well, if you want to invest in crypto, it's better to buy Bitcoin at the moment. Okay, and when we're up here, they're thinking, well, maybe it's time to either sell Bitcoin and buy some more coins with it if you want to stay in crypto, or if you have new money to put in, maybe there is something that's growing faster than Bitcoin at the moment. So those are the kind of what the chart is telling us. But as you know, if the same thing that happened in 2021 were to happen this time, then we're going to see something similar. So we're going to see something similar to this. Okay, so we're starting from a lower point, as you know, there are a lot more developed projects now than there were in either 2017 or 2021. You can see the same thing happening in 2016, 17. When Bitcoin at the time, I mean, this obviously Bitcoin at the time, there was very little apart from Bitcoin in 2016. Okay. But then even in 2020, 2021, there was like kind of like a big drop because people know, as we are reading the charts right now, many people can do the same thing. Okay, it's not rocket science, and simply if you, especially crypto traders, crypto investors, want to make as much as possible, and so they kind of move funds between one and the other pretty quickly. Okay, so we are now. I think we are just about to start the altcoin season, and Trump's inauguration could be could be a catalyst that can bring new funds and revolt funds from Bitcoin and Ethereum into altcoins as well. What other things are behind the scenes? If the administration is more favorable to crypto, one of the things how it could manifest, there could be a lot more ETFs being launched on different assets, and so to tell you how relevant this is, I just better show you in a chart. Okay, do you know what's being seen as the more probable next ETF, crypto ETF? Anybody can tell me? Anybody knows? Are you following the news at all, the crypto news?
Is it Solana, Luca?
No. It's Litecoin. Okay, so you see what happened with what a little bit of rumor can do in crypto. Okay, so this is like 40% in 3 days because there are rumors. So rumors, more than rumors. No, so there has been a filing of a Litecoin ETF, and Litecoin being a fork of Bitcoin is not considered a security at the moment, so it'd be easier to be approved. The Solana, Cardano, other blockchains ETF are a lot more complicated at the moment, so it might take a little bit longer for them to be approved. But those are on the cards as well. So there are going to be probably as well, if we have a Litecoin ETF, probably the ones to follow might be an XRP ETF, a Solana ETF, a Cardano ETF. So as there are these talks going around, there's also accumulation of these funds in expectation that new funds are going to pour in, and that particular coin is going to go up in price quite a lot. And especially when you look at potential of growth, we were like $100 in 2021. Litecoin was worth 400. So you can see why people might think, well, you know what, I've got a potential of turning $100 into 400 in a matter of a few months. So it's a very difficult investment perspective to actually refuse. And when before it was just individuals like me and you doing it, now we have a new category of investors, which are fund managers and financial advisors that now have this asset class that they can look at and they can invest in, and they can't, again, like we were talking about before for business, if another business that competes with you finds a cheaper way of doing things, you can't ignore that. You either go with it as well, or you just become irrelevant. It would be the same thing when a fund manager can say, well, no, I don't believe in crypto because I think they're all scams. But you get then another 10 of his competitors doing it and having a trebling on their results, is going to force them to look into it, or at least invest part of their funds in it as well. So any talk of ETFs being launched in any coin has an effect like this. And this is just rumor. So what's going to happen over the weekend on Monday? It's more rumors, more things going crazy like this for a day or two. Doesn't mean that they're going to go to the moon, but definitely there's going to be a lot of volatility, and we're going to see a lot more things like that, like this going on. So obviously, as you can see, we are in a green day, so everything is going up today. Whether including Doge, Shiba Inu, and the kind of meme coins and everything else. But most projects are in the green. The ones that are in the red is simply because they went out like crazy yesterday, and today they're just pausing a little bit. That's the one thing that we can look forward to. The other thing to consider is, again, if we're going to have a move from Bitcoin to smaller coins, what are the expectations? I'm thinking the first point of reference that we should have for at least for, I'll say, good projects that have carried on working throughout the bear market, is that at the very least, as we have now more people getting into crypto, the user base is bigger, it's very probable that at least they will going to revisit the all-time highs. Okay, so as a total market cap at the moment, from where we are, we need to grow 33% simply to touch the all-time high from 2021. And just remember that, if we compare it to Bitcoin is over 50%. What is that now? 60, I think it was about 70%, roughly 65% above the all-time high. Okay, so put that into perspective. What would that mean in market cap, if they did what Bitcoin is done right now already? So without thinking of future growth of Bitcoin. So that would take us to around 730 billion. I think we are now, what, 65%? Actually, it's just a little bit more. I'm being a little bit conservative. 60. So this is what Bitcoin is. In a similar, if we want to say, well, we expect all coins to do the same that Bitcoin did already up to now, that would take us to 815 billion. So it means more than double where we are right now. And I assure you that if we get up there, that will not be the top of the bull market. So you see how, why so many people are looking at this now, because where can you get where can you get expectations of 100, 150, 200% within 12 months? Not in many places. And this is generally, so without considering the projects that we're going to do 10 times, 20 times and whatever. But I would say as an average, I'm saying that as an average, there's a very good chance that, the total altcoin market goes more than doubles within a matter of weeks, if not months. So that's a one potential. If we have a look now at the ETFs, see what the ETFs have done recently. So there was a bit of sell-off last week, and then, as you can see, we started again. Money started flowing back in. So we've already overcome all the sell-off from last week in 2 days. We are now at 37 billion of money that's flown into Bitcoin. And now the takeover has happened. Fidelity has now overtaken Grayscale, as you can see, and Grayscale now is at almost like 200,000 Bitcoin. Remember, they had about 600 and I think it was 625, 630,000 when the ETFs were launched. So the only reason why I'm telling you, not because I've got anything against Grayscale, simply because this is where the selling pressure has come from, because their fees have been so much higher than anybody else. So it's about 1.5% are their fees compared to 0.25, 0.2% in all the other funds. So the smaller these fund becomes, the smaller the selling pressure. You can see there is a lot more red in this column, in the Grayscale column, than anywhere else. Okay. And if we have a look at the Ethereum ETFs, again, we started having a little bit of money flowing back in. It's not been as dramatic as Bitcoin, but we still had 2.6 billion of new cash flowing into Ethereum, and this has been a more recent affair, really, from November. Really, although it launched in July, the effect of it was negative for the same reason as before. Okay, for the same reason as Grayscale was selling off, everybody else was making up for that sell-off. Is now obviously a lot. You can see 3.7 billion were sold off from the Grayscale Trust, and all the other funds, the BlackRock pretty much has taken it all in. Okay, so it took a long time for this to go into the green, but it's now going into green again. So any new funds there flowing in, remember, this is a spot ETF, so it means that they need to go out on Binance, on Coinbase, anywhere there are these tokens, and buy them on the open market. So it puts upward pressure on the prices. So big news. This has just come up in the last few hours. This is one, obviously, we're talking about a president that does things on social media, not on normal channels again. This is one of his social media posts, saying that now to make crypto a national priority in upcoming executive order. What does that mean in reality? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But he's saying he's creating a crypto council formed of crypto executives. So will depend on, we'll see who gets to go onto the council. So the devil is in the details in these things. But the fact that he's even talking about it, and these things are being reported, are making crypto something. It's normalizing crypto. Right before, for so many years, we've been hearing, crypto is the devil, scams, pornographers, anything, they're just like terrorists, anything connected to crypto you could think of as negative as possible. Now the tide has turned. We got, apart from, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, all the big boys are talking crypto right now, because they trying to gain your trust. Make it look, we know about it. Well, why you've been sitting on it for 10 years, rubbishing it in the news until very recently, because you couldn't make anything on it, Anyway, so this is the reason why there has been a lot of interest already, and why prices are going up already. Okay, because again, rumors, but it's normalizing more than rumors. This is not just a rumor. Is talking about crypto on national news. You go and open your newspaper, you go and, whether it's online or on physical, there are going to be several articles about crypto now. And when you have the credibility, I remember, whether you like Trump or not, is being voted in by a majority of Americans. So obviously his supporters would be interested in what he thinks. Other people may not, but you still have to take stock of it. Other big news, as very little details at the moment, but Tether is about to launch the USDTO, which is a stable coin, which is a, again, a sector that's been growing very, very rapidly. Is going to be existing at the same time on several different blockchains. I know that Tether already can be used on different blockchain, but still a different asset. So if you want to use, I don't know, Tether from Ethereum, and you want to use it on Tron or something like that, you still have to send it from one blockchain or another. How this is going to, technically, how this is going to be launched and what it means, I don't know, it remains to be seen. But this is their slogan: your USDT anywhere. So literally, so this is the idea that you have USDT. From what they're saying, you're going to be able to use it without any extra fees, whether you want to use Tron, whether you want to use Ethereum or a Polygon or wherever else you want to use a USDT. So again, these are all little steps. The things I'm talking to you about, they're not like avalanches or things that are going to change things from the world from one day to the next, but they're all like little bricks, little bricks in the wall, building. This is the one that we're talking about. Litecoin ETF, the Nasdaq had filed the request that need to be approved by the SEC. And again, they got a certain number of days to approve these. They can reject it first and so on. So this is going to take a while, but it's important because there is a ticking timeline that has now been started. And there is more likely to be adopted because there are any theoretically there are no reasons to stop it now after Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs have been approved. And this is the last bit of news that I wanted to share with you. This is a Grayscale executive. Okay, Grayscale. Okay, remember that it's not just the owner of the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs, but they've launched many crypto trusts. Okay, so they have got, apart from the ones that have been transformed into ETFs now, so Bitcoin and Ethereum, they got other investment funds. They invest in other coins as well. So they're into the crypto space quite a lot. And what they are talking about is that is saying that there's going to be lots of many small wins for crypto now. So they're talking about the more institutional adoptions could come from pension and endowment funds. And we're talking about fund manager. We say it was easy for them to ignore it, dismiss it or set it aside over the last decade, but they're all now recognizing they can't do that anymore because they would look silly. Okay, if they reject it, saying it's not a good thing, and somebody else is using it and making, 3, 4, 5 times the results of their fund, it's going to make them look really silly. So now the many pension and endowment funds have kickstarted the process to include crypto in their portfolios. Okay, and some of these approvals may only be 6 to 12 months away. Now, guys, why is this big? Let's think about the funds and the management of these pension and endowment funds is counted in the trillions. All right. So what does a 1%, 2%, 3% capital allocation to cryptocurrency is very big. Okay. So a 3% will still be, 30 billion plus invested into crypto. So it's and this is just like one little part of this world, without even counting all the central banks that are talking about doing the same thing. And you might have followed El Salvador and how they're being kept accumulating Bitcoin, and then now for a country which has about 30 billion of national GDP, they already got, I think, about more than $500 million in Bitcoin accumulated. and they keep buying one every day, and also mining Bitcoin as well. So it's becoming the things that cannot be ignored. So we see now a transfer of some of the traditional asset classes into the internet world, which is represented by cryptocurrency in terms of finance. So again, those are all little pieces of the pie that's interesting to to look at. And some of these smaller victories as well are those that are being won already in the courts. We know that both Ripple is still in a court case. Coinbase again is in a court case against the SEC because they're trying to force them to give them reasons. More like a precise regulation around crypto that they refuse to provide. Now with the new administration, that may change. We see the effects on Ripple, the kind of case going slightly in their favor, and so this is what happened in the last few weeks, really. So this was just like beginning of November, it was like 50 cents, and it's now like 3.25. So we see how quickly things can change, and this is what at the end of the day, not based on anything more than rumors, pretty much. Okay, and this is what I'm trying to say, guys. We are going to witness one of the biggest transfers of wealth that we've ever seen, or we're ever likely to see in our lifetime. So find a way of getting involved some way. If you're interested in some of the things I do, then please send me a message, or we can have a chat about it. Otherwise, just even if you do it yourself, I mean, go on YouTube and whatever you want to do, but just don't ignore this. So no financial advice, but we're just going at the very least get educated. Okay. All right. Let's see if there are some questions. I think that you want to chat about things that you want to look at. All right. Anybody? Hello, blank faces across. Guys, come on. It wasn't that bad. Not even a single question. If you want my presence for another 10 minutes, then you're gonna have to ask some questions. Otherwise, we're gonna have a shorter call than usual. So, and you gotta start making your own, just looking at things yourself, not just through my eyes. Okay. So this is why if you look things up, then obviously you're gonna have questions. I have questions when I looking through the news, the crypto news, and
Luca, Delia is asking in the chat for an XRP. Any further update?
XRP.
Yeah.
Well, it's XRP. So at the moment, they launched a stable coin, and if you follow the news, and talking about Cardano, there have been talks about integrating the XRP stable coin into the Cardano ecosystem as well. So there are ongoing talks about that, and Charles Hoskinson, which is the founder of Cardano, has publicly go up and say that even as a gift to the community, we probably make that happen. Which again, it's a good thing. The more stable coins are available, it means the more liquidity can enter a particular ecosystem. And that's the one thing that's really that up to now has still been missing in Cardano. There's been there are stable coins in Cardano already, but not any of the, I would say, popular ones. So like USDT is not on Cardano, USDC is not on Cardano. So having, again, something that's connected with a big project, because just to remind you that XRP is one of the top, is it number 3 now? Let's see, double check. Yeah, XRP is the project number 3. So after Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are pretty much half the size of Ethereum in terms of market cap. So that's the good thing. But on the other side, the other part of the news that you want to be finding out as well is the court case that's still going on. And there is an article today. I mean, I haven't read it. I just read the headlines saying that the lawyers actually is ripped into the SEC has appealed a decision in favor of XRP in the courts. Has been appealed by the SEC. So at the moment, they still got that cloud hanging over their head. Darren, you spoke about an opportunity buying a minted token. Did that work out? What do you mean? What do you mean, Darren? Sorry, I don't know what you're referring to.
A while ago, you were talking about getting an opportunity to buy a token.
Oh yeah, no, that was a node token, so that's a beam.
Beam. Sorry, yes, then Web3 or something.
It's been launched. It's been launched, and it's the people that have bought it. It's still not usable yet because there's a upgrade to the Avalanche blockchain that needs to happen before you can actually stake those tokens, either to become a validator or you can stake it with a validator to get and share the rewards with them for the token. But yes, the token mint site is online now. You can go, and if you're interested to, you can go and mint a node token right now. The price has gone up from $1,250 to 3 times as much. So then now, if you want to get one, it's going to cost you $3,750. And this is the actual. Let me just check just to make sure before telling you something wrong. Okay, I think it's nodesonbeam.com. So for anybody that's interested, go and look it up. I'm not recommending or anything, but this is the thing. So this is more a long-term thing, Darren. It's not something that's worked out from one day to the next. So during the first quarter, Avalanche is going to upgrade their blockchain, and at that time, then Beam will launch their own blockchain. This is what these tokens are for. So holders of the token is required to become a validator. Okay, so either that, or once a validator is already started working, then you can delegate the token to them, and like in any proof of stake system, proof of stake system, you can delegate your token and get extra rewards on top of what you will get for simply delegating your Beam tokens. So I think there are rewards not just on Beam, but also on Ton and another 2 or 3 tokens that you can get as a reward for being a node token holder. All right, so that was that. All right, any other questions?
I got a big question. When Bitcoin reaches its top, what percentage would you recommend selling? Like, is it hold for the long term, or would you recommend to sell, like, I don't know, 30%, 50%, hold some and wait for it to go down and then up again slowly?
Oh yeah, I'll answer you that with another question. How long is a piece of string?
How long, sorry?
How long is a piece of string? See what I'm saying? So it's a question that's impossible to answer because it really depends on your individual circumstances. So what does the investment that you have made into Bitcoin means for you? So what was that capital allocation for? Is it for your pension? Is it because like a short-term investment that you want to just maximize and sell at the top of the market? So without knowing that, it's impossible to give an answer. And also, what are you supposed to do long term? Again, if the reason why you bought Bitcoin is because of security, and it's something because you don't trust the banks, and you want to you want to have Bitcoin whatever happens because it's going to be the base of a future financial system, then probably the idea is that, well, you won't sell at any price like many Bitcoiners do. If your reason to buying into Bitcoin is to think, I want to make money so I can buy a new car, that is a different matter. Or you want to buy a house or something like this, and then it really depends on the purpose of your investment. So it's impossible to say what you are doing. But the one thing I would say, and this is not just for Bitcoin, but for anything, any investment that you buy, the moment, even before you buy, but even more, the moment that you press the button and buy something, you should have your rules of engagement in place. So you should know, I bought this at, let's say, 50,000. I am going to do X with it. I'm going to, as you said, maybe, I don't know, sell 50% when it doubles and sell 25% when it doubles again and keep the rest. So whatever those rules are, I'm just talking like this off the top of my head, that whatever those rules are should be defined the moment that you are buying something. So that reason can be, I'm going to keep this forever, and I'm going to do certain things with it, with all of it, with part of it, with one part of it, whatever it is. I'm going to be using it for DeFi. I'm going to be lending it to people and get a reward for it. So this depends on what it means to you. And if the reason is, income, is it wealth, is it accumulation? So the other thing, by the way, Bitcoin in particular, so far in its history, has been what do you do with Bitcoin? You buy, say, can't do anything else with it. You buy and you sell it when you want to realize some value. And so there are big talks now. If you follow again the news about, if you read anything about the Bitcoin operating system and its interaction with different ecosystems, including Cardano, it could mean very soon, over the next few months, that there's going to be a thriving DeFi system on Bitcoin. And if that comes into being, that would be bigger than DeFi of any other chain put together. Okay, so that could be another use case, by the way, for Bitcoin. Kind of like, I don't sell it, but I do operations with it. Again, DeFi type of operations where you can put it into certain protocols or something to maybe use it for lending or borrowing, or to do other things with it, so you can actually gain, earn a yield from your Bitcoin, not just hold it there for the future. So it could be both. Bitcoin could turn from being just a growth strategy to being a growth and cash flow, which something that you should consider if you are looking at medium to long term. Should be something you should at least think about. Am I going to engage with it or not? Yeah, does that kind of answer your question, Jane? Good. Anybody else? We got a couple of minutes, and then I need to go because I have another call at 10 o'clock. By the way, from those of you that are interested, there are going to be some new launches. I know some of you are part of the Carbon Copy Crypto already. There are soon going to be some new products being launched as well. So if it's something that you still that you're interested in, then keep an eye on the AAW news, as you know, as we go out and go ahead with the launch, probably going to be a webinar about it. Okay, so if you're interested, then keep your eyes peeled out for different strategies being launched. Okay, guys, if there are no questions, then I think I'm going to close the call there so I can actually use the facilities before I start my next call. I'll say there might be a lot of activities over the weekend and beginning of the week over crypto. Just remember that obviously the inauguration is on Monday. That means that, you know, in some parts of the world, Australia and New Zealand may already be Tuesday when the inauguration goes on. So it's going to be the first 2 or 3 days of the week are going to be definitely interesting. Okay, so let's see what happens, and I will catch up with you on you know, next week. Remember, if you're on the AIW call, that's on Thursday evening rather than Friday. Crypto Hour is always at the same time, so that never changes. So we're here at the same time next week. All right. So have a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch up with you all next week. Bye, everyone. Bye bye. Oh yes, before I go, just remember to click on Jonathan's link before I stop the call. The Q&A link is on the chat box. So I'll give you an extra 10 seconds, and so if you're interested, and but most of you will already have been on the call, but there you go. All right, see you all next weekend, and have a fantastic week. Bye bye.
Thanks, Luke.